Hi people and hello the Chili Con Carnage crew, it's Chili here, the man with iron in my eyes, doing a 5-minute review on White Lie's newest album, Nightlight. Imagine my surprise at seeing this album was released. The band has always been a pleasant surprise in my life, even though the lyrics aren't necessarily always about all kinds of pleasantries, in fact quite the opposite usually. But still, there is an intrigue about this band and how they portray themselves. I still remember listening to their debut album and just falling in love with what I was hearing, and even reviewing their last effort and giving it unfortunately a bit of a mid-score, which felt like a mark against my soul. I mean, my views did change over time with that record, but my initial opinion of it was how it just sounded alright, but didn't quite leave a strong impression upon me. And then this album drops, and it kind of follows suit again. So let's go into this. So I guess we're going to begin off with the pros going for this album, and of course the first one I have to go with is the first song and single on here, Nothing on Me, which is one hell of a way to start off this record. Harry McVeigh's vocals sound as amazing as ever, with a mesmerizing performance as he delivers his lines with his signature crooner style of vocals. The band also still have it in them to write songs that you can dance to despite the deep or dark subject matter within that is contained on here. Now for the cons. Now, the title track off this record is a very dull tune that feels like it causes listener fatigue when hearing it. Luckily, this tune is towards the end of the album and is somewhat redeemed in the last minute for picking up a more jaunty tone. However, you did put me through 3 minutes of hell just to get there. Unfortunately, also, a fair few of the songs also fall into the realm of being nice but mid-tier songs, which borders on a very forgettable album. After a playthrough or two, I noticed how it lacked any real big standout songs on here that were either memorable, excluding of course the first and last songs. Now, In the Middle is a good way to close off this record, and it does feel like this tune has some electronic undertones, almost like it's taking cues from the musician known as Jean-Michel Jarre. This song certainly builds during its 6-minute runtime, culminating at the end with a nice little send-off for the album. But I can't help but feel like this record's going to take multiple playthroughs to truly appreciate, and it shouldn't have to be like that in all honesty. Unfortunately though, this album does seem to be at a bit of a slump compared to their previous effort, but not all is lost. I mean, Juice is a sprawling and lush sounding effort that is driven by some solid bass work on here that really makes it one of the standouts. But unfortunately, I just don't recall any of the other songs. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 5.5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Nothing on Me, In the Middle, and Juice. So that's it. It's kind of a mid-tier album, but it's not a bad effort by the band. Maybe it's too pedestrian for my liking and strays further away from their post-punk roots that can be heard on, of course, their debut album. And maybe that is owed to this record perhaps being a little bit too polished. And I think that's one of the biggest flaws on here, aside from the songwriting. Anyway, I'm sure that old school fans will tell me below how I'm wrong and this was a solid record, but well, that's my opinion. So let me know yours, of course, down in the comments section below. And don't forget to stay spicy out there. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content, because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.